And we're back.
Yay.
I'm here with, please introduce yourself.
I'm Cameron, from LADYBEETLE and WULFER, and that's all I got.
That's great. I appreciate you taking the time to do this because I know it's a very busy part of your life right now as you're getting ready to move.
Yes.
Where are you moving to?
Ireland.
For how long?
For 9 months.
And what are you doing there?
And I'm going to grad school.
I'm curious to start off. I usually start off the interviews like going to the past, but I feel like this is a very interesting thing because one of our other friends who I've interviewed before, Cora, is also doing this. What is the thing that you're doing? I don't think I actually really understand what it is.
We're doing experimental sound practice, which is like...
And it's a master's program? That's great.
Yeah. From what I can tell from like our class outline and stuff, it's just like not even a music degree really, just like interacting with sound and composition in a not overtly musical way. Like one of our classes is composing with field recordings, and one of them is like real-time composition, I guess, which is like a fancy improv when you aren't in a band type deal. I don't really know.
That's awesome.
We're just kind of showing up and finding out.
That's great. That's awesome. And what drew you to doing this?
Well, I wanted to study abroad in college or sometime, and it just never worked out to do it while I was in undergrad. And then I found this program, and I just was like thinking about it a lot. I was applying for a scholarship that I had to pick a program to apply for, and then I tried that, but I didn't get the scholarship, and I was like, well, maybe I can still do the program. And it just felt like every concurrent decision that I would have to make to like actually go towards doing it, I did, and now I'm here and I'm actually doing it, and it still feels like a faraway idea.
Yeah.
But it's happening.
That's crazy.
Yeah.
Well, you're going to be missed, but you're going to be returning, I'm assuming, after school, so that'll be great.
Yeah.
But, so you're from North Carolina originally, right?
Yes.
What was it like growing up down there? Because North Carolina is an interesting state because it's not entirely southern or northern. There's a lot of aspects of it, because I've been a few times, that are a combination of the two. And what was it like growing up in that environment?
I love North Carolina. I have such a like deep fondness for it. Just the people and the way that it is. Like every time I go and I leave, I'm like, why am I leaving? Just really, really good place, I think, to grow up and chilled out environment. The particular like places where I was going to school and spending a lot of my time in like adolescence, like I feel like the people there or like my broader peer group was never like really at odds with how I felt about myself and how I wanted to move through the world. It just kind of felt like we were all like shifting in the same directions. And then also now like being able to go back, especially after living in a bigger city for a couple years, like, and really trying to take advantage of like there's beautiful mountains and rivers and just like things that are just a drive away from my house that I don't really get to experience when I'm here. And that's part of the thing that's drawing me back there, I think. Just being able to like go and walk outside whenever I want. I don't know.
I feel the same way. I come from a smaller town in Long Island and right by the ocean side.
Yeah.
And so going back there, you're able to take much more advantage of prettier things that you generally take for granted when you're younger.
Yeah.
So how did you get into music? Because you're primarily a singer and guitar player.
It feels like I honestly can't pinpoint the moment, because like my dad is a music enjoyer, and he would like play songs in the car, and he would like quiz me like, what song is this? And it's fucking Hey Jude, like, and like be like, who wrote this song? So I guess through him, but nobody else in my family really played a lot, like other than just like noodling on guitar or something. I was a really extroverted child, and I think like the idea of being on stage and like being front and center was really appealing to me, and so I started with a desire to do that, like a desire to perform, and then I was also like big into reading and writing, and so like all of that I feel like just combined to eventually I was like, oh, I can actually like write a song and then I can sing the song. and I liked being kind of the only one who really did that in like my elementary school.
You were writing songs in elementary school.
Yeah.
Wow, that's pretty young. That's crazy. I didn't write my first song until I was like 18, I think. Yeah. So, what were those songs like?
Oh my god, it was like all of these feelings that I read about or like conceptualized as like this is a feeling that a person has, and I was just like
that's really
trying to make it into a song. I was also like I was very emotional, thinky, feely, like definitely it was things that I was feeling and trying to experience, but also trying to relate to other people. Like it was I guess it was this big like exercise of like what way can I put this in the song that communicates it most effectively. And that's kind of kept up. Like songs to me I think are just like the most efficient form of communication.
That's a great way to put it.
Yeah. I don't know. Thinking about that period of time is so funny because I've decided so young, and I still feel like I got into it late. Like especially playing instruments and stuff. I was mostly just like a writer and a vocalist for a long time. And
you weren't playing guitar or anything like that?
No. I played a little bit of piano.
Okay.
And in middle school, I got really into Undertale, and I was like learning all the Undertale songs. But I really didn't like lessons.
LADYBEETLE. Well, what's that?
Megalovania cover, yeah. And I would do that. I just hated lessons, and I had a really good voice teacher who kind of just let me do whatever I wanted. But my mom tried to get me into learning piano and learning guitar in any formal way, and I was just like, no, I don't want to be told what to do. So I kind of just did my own thing, and in a lot of ways that was nice. It was very self-directed and self-led, especially when I got into like producer-y stuff. But like, I feel like I didn't have very formal training in anything for a long time.
Until you got to school.
Yeah.
That's great.
That made it hard to get into stuff.
How did you get into Berklee? How did you find out about Berklee in the first place? Were you planning on going to college or music school?
Yeah.
How'd that all come about?
I wanted to go to college, definitely. My parents were super, like, even though I was interested in pursuing music, they were always kind of like, okay, you need to have a backup plan, like, maybe you can go do something else, and then, like, do music as a hobby, or, like, whatever. And then I went to, and that, like, to me, to my little kid brain, I was like, that sounds accurate. I didn't feel like that was, like, unreasonable.
Yeah.
And then I went and visited my grandma, in San Francisco, and she had a bunch of, like, artsy friends, and they had kids who were playing music, and we all hung out, and we were playing all this music, and it was like, oh my gosh, this is awesome. And then the dad of that family started talking to me, and he was like, you know, like, if you're really into this whole writing thing and this performing thing, like, you should look into Berklee. And at the time I was like, are you really sure, like, that would be a big commitment? Like, I don't know if I should go to school just for music. Like, that's kind of like, I don't know. That's like an all or nothing type deal. And he was like, well, they used to say, like, if you have a backup plan, then you're not gonna succeed. He didn't say it that way, but, like, essentially, if you have a backup plan, or if you're planning to do something else, like, you're planning to fail. So you have to decide, like, do you really want to do this? Is this really the thing that you want to do that makes you the most happy in the world? And if you commit to that and you do it, you will succeed. And I was like, dang, that's a big decision. And then I thought about it really hard for a series of years.
Yeah.
And then I decided to do it.
That's great. And so you got in. Were you excited about that when you got in? That's great.
Yeah.
And then so you moved to Boston, and I'm curious, had you gotten into production stuff at this point as well? Okay, how did you get into that? Because you record a lot of your own music, but you also, like, do mastering work and mixing work for other people. Have you done stuff with Main Era before?
Yes, yeah. That's my favorite thing that I've worked on.
That's great.
So far. Maybe I shouldn't say that, but selfishly, it is my favorite thing so far. I just really love that.
The album,
I love
the last album that they did.
Yeah. I guess it's upcoming work. It's not out yet. But
oh yes, yeah, okay.
It's so good. I think they're incredible musicians. But what was I gonna freaking say?
How'd you get into production?
Oh yes. So I think that started. My mom made me do a radio camp one summer.
Whoa.
Because she wanted me to, like, have something to do. And initially I was like, this sounds boring and stupid, and it doesn't have anything to do with music, and all I want to do is sing and perform. And she was like, it's fine, just go have fun. So that was, I think, my first introduction into using a DAW ever.
Wow.
Because a big part of the program was like, we would receive these transcripts of news interviews, and they would be like, okay, you have to make this fit a certain amount of time, and you have to make it sound good, so you have to cut out the clicks and the pops and the breaths, and like delete all the ums, and like just make everything sound really streamlined and good. And I loved that. It was like so methodical, and it made so much sense, and I was really meticulous and really like good at doing like the little fades and stuff, and I was like, it's gonna sound so perfect. And so I got into doing that, and when the camp ended, I was like, you know what, it would be so awesome if I could do that program, but for music. Like, I could record my music and stuff, and I could edit it that way, because like I'd used iMovie before, I'd used all these like Video Star, like I was really into like doing editing things, but I didn't know what a DAW was because nobody ever told me. And I didn't know that was something that you could do, and so I looked up on like the App Store like audio editing app, and like it wasn't what I wanted, and I just got discouraged. And then somehow, some way, I discovered GarageBand. Ollie's here.
Hey, Ollie.
Hey.
We usually have cameos on this show. People
this
just
is
walk
awesome.
up. Hey, Ollie. Want pop a squat?
What the freak is up?
Sit in on story time.
Aww.
We're learning about. So yeah, this is how you became Spider-Man, right?
Yeah.
But you found GarageBand.
I found GarageBand on the computer, and I was like, oh, this is what I wanted. And I think I made my first recording, like, my dad had gotten me a microphone to make YouTube videos with, because he was like, you could really get this going, like, you should sing and you play piano, and, like, you'll really hit it big. And we made a couple videos, and then I had this mic, and I started using, well, actually, take it back a step. My first like project was recorded with my Apple earbud microphone.
Whoa.
Because I knew that I had a microphone on it, and I would sing into it, and then I would like put it up against my little baritone ukulele guitar, because of course I played ukulele and not guitar or anything, and I would tape it to the speaker of my little keyboard, and then play, and it would go through.
That's fine.
And I didn't know how to use a click track. And I didn't know how to use anything. I would just look at knobs, and I would turn them until they sounded good. And I made like a whole album that way in 8th grade.
That's awesome.
And it was on Bandcamp, and I was
Is this lost media now?
Well, it's still there. It's just private.
Oh man, I'm gonna have to hear that.
It's so
That's fire.
funny. And
That's
like
fire.
I'm singing like I'm in musical theater, because that's what I wanted to do essentially.
Wow.
Like I wanted to sing like people who did like Heathers or whatever. I wanted a big like impressive voice. So I didn't sing like I sing now until I was like halfway through college, because I was too afraid of my voice cracking.
Yeah.
But yeah, I made many songs that way.
That's awesome.
and then I went to high school for music production. So I was like Pro Tools Gold.
You went to an arts high school?
Mm-hmm.
Oh wow, okay, that's
Yeah.
great. So that helped get into Berkeley,
Yes.
I'm assuming.
Yeah, like I feel so lucky that I got to go through the period of time where you're learning Pro Tools and you hate everything and yourself for 3 years when I was in high school and not in college. Because when I had to start using Pro Tools again in college, I was kind of like, oh, like this all makes sense. And then everybody around me was like, what the fuck is going on? This program is
Whack.
the worst. Yeah. And now me and Pro Tools like this. But I never
That's fire.
forget the days that I hated it.
So you got to school, and you know, I have this experience, and a lot of other people I know have this experience, where it's like the first 2 years of school you're kind of like a tadpole, and then you become a frog in your third year. And what I mean by that is like third year is when everybody starts like going out to shows and stuff like that. You know,
So, yeah.
I didn't go to see like a show in Boston. You know, I don't know, when did you start? 2020 or 2021?
I started 2021 fall.
Okay. I started in 2020, so I didn't get to Boston until fall 2021, and I only saw like 2 shows from that time until, you know, like the middle of 2022 or something like that.
That's fair, yeah.
And so was it hard for you to kind of find people to play with or to go see shows when you got here first, or did it come kind of naturally to you?
I mean, there are aspects of it that came naturally. I think that pretty immediately with my roommates and my peer group at the time, like we were all really excited about making music, and so like bands formed really fast, and like everybody was hanging out and making music together, and like just I don't know, it felt really nice because I never had a group of people that was that excited and that like we're gonna play shows and it's gonna be awesome. And I never even played. I think I played my music. I played like 1 or 2 songs with a band before one time in high school, and like house shows and stuff like that was kind of not a thing when or at least I wasn't aware of it when I was growing up. And so when I went to, I think my first house show in Boston was at Brinstar.
Whoa.
And it was in the spring of 2022, and I was like, this is incredible.
Do you remember who was on the bill?
It was Kayla Silverman.
Wow, that's a throwback.
Addie.
Oh man.
And Matilda Heckler. I think that's what the bill was.
That's actually a crazy bill. That's insane. Sometimes, every time I ask about the first house show in these interviews, the bill is always like, wow, that happened. I wish I could have been there. That is
I was on a date. I felt really old. I remember it was the first time I met Abby Zachko in person.
Oh, really?
And I thought that she was so talented and so cool. And our interaction was essentially, she had a bottle of vodka, and we had to go, we were like going on a 7-Eleven run, and she was like trying to put it in a different container that wasn't the vodka container or whatever. But I like ended up in ownership of this bottle for like an hour. I was just carrying around in my little bag, and I was like, wow, I'm so cool. I'm so old. Like, this is so awesome. But yeah, I got bit by like the house show bug pretty early.
That's great. And then you started making your own music and gigging. How did that come about?
It just happened pretty immediately. Like one of my goals when I went to college was like start a band. And so the original iteration of Cameron Lane was me and Daisy and our friend Sunny and Sam, and that was like mind-blowing for me. Like, to have this group of people who like I could play my songs with, and I don't know, that time is so nostalgic, I think, for me, and I learned so much. And like just seeing, like, even with all of us individually, like how we've grown in the separate projects and the endeavors. Like, I think Sam was literally, well, I don't think this is a secret, Sam just went to Chicago to play Audio Tree with Emma. Yeah, with Emma, yeah. Ridiculous!
Yeah,
how are
crazy.
We here? Like, I'm so... things that, like, would have made us shit our pants, like, 4 years ago, are just, like, they just keep happening. They keep rolling up. And I'm just amazed by that. And definitely, like, I went through a big metamorphosis, I think, with how I view making music, how I view, like, my project. It was very much like, this is my music, and this is my band that plays my music. And I didn't really know how to perform in a way that felt authentic or comfortable, because my voice was always doing things that I didn't understand, and I didn't know how to play guitar very well. And, like, I'm still so happy that, like, for every gig that I played or everything that I did, like, just a stepping stone and, like, the learning of it all. But looking back at how uncomfortable I was on stage back then, and how I would walk off stage every set and just be like, oh my god, I feel like I sucked, like, I feel like that went so poorly, and I wasn't really proud of my music. Looking back at that and being like, how do I become someone that's like the people that I admire? And now playing music where I've kind of, like, reevaluated my relationship with making art in general, I feel like I would be very amazed at myself now. Like,
I think everybody feels that way that I
kind of nice.
Know. Yeah, that's crazy. And you know, your music, I only recently, like, saw you play live recently, but I'd always heard about you for a long time through people like Abby or, you know, bandmates or stuff like that. It's so, I would say dynamic, one word, but also, it's a lot of things that I feel like a lot of people do in Boston, but you do like one little thing just slightly differently, and that's what really makes it stick, you know. Whether it be like you know, the tunings that you use, or also I love how every song has like these little hooks in it, these little rhythmic things that happen with the band making hits. Like that really sells the song really well. Was that a part of the music originally, or did that develop out of playing with other people and playing the music live?
I think it was another interesting arc of like, I'd never played with anybody when I was writing those songs originally, so it was very much like I would sit down at home and be in like Logic producing my first couple of songs and like figuring out like the arc, the dynamic arc, and how I wanted everything to sound. And then so I would bring that to the band and I'd be like, this is how I produced it, this is how I want it to sound. And sometimes it would translate really well, and sometimes there would be some kind of disconnect between like I did this thing production wise and it was just not translating really well to live. And so that was kind of weird for me because I didn't know how to verbalize writing for a drum part. I didn't know how to verbalize like, I think that this is like the chord change should actually be this, or like we're playing a 1 but I actually want the root to be 5. Like I didn't really understand how to verbalize that. It was just stuff that I did, or like something that I heard and I was like really specific about how I wanted it to be, but without any vocabulary to do that. So I guess through playing with people for a really long time and going to shows and going to sessions and like trying to be as meticulous as possible with like, what do I actually like, what sounds do I enjoy, like what does this bass sound like versus this other bass. Like doing a lot of recording stuff has helped with part writing and tone, and like
you're very meticulous about it. We played together one time and I was like, oh yeah, I have a Strat, and you're like, oh, I don't really like Strats, but they're good for this and they're good for this, and did you know that this person uses this? And I was like, damn, I thought like I kind of knew my shit, but yeah, you really have that on lock.
I feel like I don't know anything still, but it's funny because I feel like once upon a time, like I would get into circles where people would be talking about recording like MP&E Bros or something, and they would be talking like that, or they'd be talking about certain mics, and I was just so overwhelmed, like I don't know what the difference between these things are. And then just through doing it enough times and coming up with enough bullshit opinions, now I sound like I know what I'm doing, and I think that's probably the most important part.
That is kind of the most important. I think for every facet of this industry that we're in, because it's kind of like the Wild West, it's like the last true Wild West industry, making it seem like you're the big guy in the room always, can help at times. So I think the band is interesting because you have so many. Obviously it's your music, but the band that you have is like a super group,
Oh yeah.
It's crazy. You have Ash,
oh my God,
who I will interview at some point. You have X, who I'll interview. You basically, your band is made up of people, and has been made up of people who I will all interview at some point, which is that's very rare that happens. What is it like having that caliber of musicians who are all very different, mind you, in your band, playing your music?
I just feel super lucky because I don't really play with anybody who isn't my close friend, and that's not like a preference thing. Like, of course,
it just happened that way.
Yeah, it just happened that way. If I need like a bass fill in for a show, I'm gonna text X, because I'm just around them all the time. Yeah. So it was actually, it was an addition that was so important to me because, like, I decided at some point that I wanted a second guitarist, and she just kind of like fell into my life.
This is Ash for viewers.
Yeah. Via like we met at that first show that I was telling you about, but she didn't remember that. And we met like for real at Union Tavern like a couple months later, which is so funny. And then I like put on my story that I needed a guitarist, and she was like, "Can I do it?" And it's been her ever since. And,
You've lived together.
We lived together. I moved her into New York. Like, she is my best friend in the world, and I miss her a lot, and I'm going to continue missing her until she comes back from New York, until I come back from abroad. I just think that the way that she writes, honestly, has informed a lot of the new Lady Beetle stuff. Stuff on, like, upcoming album, but also past that, especially since I started playing in WULFER. For the last couple months.
Yeah, you guys kind of traded spots.
I feel like I got so much better at guitar just by virtue of playing in that band, and I can't believe that you trusted me with that, because I like, I didn't know how to play a single thing when I started.
It's crazy how that's kind of the case for me. I play in a lot of different bands, you know. It's something like 10 right now. And
Whoa.
every time I join a new band, no matter how crazy the music is, you know, whether it's E-Club or if it's something, you know, pretty simple, I don't know, like I've done country gigs before, playing with singer-songwriters, no matter what it is, every time I play with somebody, I always come away feeling like a better musician. Like after the first gig, I definitely noticed a very sharp improvement in things that I didn't even know were going to be improved by it.
Yeah.
I think it's an interesting thing that happens when we play music. And I think it's cool that even though you didn't necessarily know a ton about the guitar, you took the leap of faith and played. Because I didn't know actually that you hadn't played guitar in any other band besides your own band. Because when I saw you play with LADYBEETLE, with WULFER, I saw y'all at Secret Island a while ago.
Oh my god, that shit was awesome.
Yeah, but I was like, damn, like, Cam riffs, like, I mean, I was like, yeah, I know Cam, like, but damn, like, there's some cool notes, you know?
So funny.
And I fucked with that you were sitting on the floor for that show.
That was literally because I couldn't play the parts if I stood up.
That's fire.
It
was a huge guitar. It was a very big guitar.
I graduated now. I can play standing up. It's a big step for me. But yeah, I feel like the thing that carried me through all of that was just having a really intense taste about tone built in. Because I was like, I will play these parts, I'm gonna do the best that I can, but honestly, it's something that Cora said that in your interview that stuck with me was, she was like, you know, I might not be the most experienced cellist out there or like the most technically gifted, but I'm really intense about my tone and I want to make sure that the tone always sounds good, so I often sound like pretty good. And I was like, you know what, that's so true, because I don't consider myself like an expert guitarist or even a particularly good guitarist, but like I will slave over the tone.
The sound of the WULFER show was like, whoa, like I had listened to the Ashes EP and you know, it's very much like quieter music, but you know, sort of in this Alex G 2010s lane of like very quiet something and very loud other thing. Yeah. But then the live show was just like everything was so loud and it was awesome and it sounded like Boris and I was like, ah! So awesome. It was fire.
I stopped playing with fuzz for the last 2 gigs, which was a big step.
That's a big step.
Yeah, because I also was like, I can hide behind it being super loud. And then we set up for a rehearsal with Maeve one time and we didn't want to set up our boards. And you're playing the songs, you're like, damn, this kind of sounds really good, like just the parts, like. Yeah. So I took my fuzz away.
That's great.
And it was a big step.
And so you mentioned that you have a record that you're working on. Mm-hmm. When is that slated to come out? I'm very excited to hear it. I'm very excited. You're one of the last people that I'm friends with who has yet to like release an album, which I'm very excited for. That doesn't mean, you know, I'm not saying save the best for last, but maybe. You never know.
Yeah.
But when is that slated to come out, and what's it been like working on that?
Oh gosh, well, hopefully soon. I started recording vocals like 2 weeks ago, and then immediately after I got a really bad cold, and so I was forced to stop. But I finished, I think, all of the instrumentation while living here this summer.
That's great.
And that was a lot of like guitar sessions, and I did a session in January with my friends in Asheville at Drop, where I interned last year. Will, Elliot on drums, and then my friend Seamus helping engineer and stuff. And that team of people was like amazing. That was like God. Like, I love them so much. I feel like it was the perfect basis for the rest of the record, because it was all very like homemade besides that, like just putting together different spaces, different sounds and times, and like I would set up a guitar rig and then record a bunch on that rig and then have to break it down. And so some songs have that, and then some songs have other stuff, and they're all mixed around. Then it's got Ashley on it, it's got Sam, it has Joe on keys and stuff.
That's great.
I haven't mentioned Joe yet, and I really love playing with him.
Yeah.
And I feel like I'm never gonna have a keyboardist that isn't him, because he's just awesome. And yeah, I tried to get as many friends as possible to contribute to it. I want Cora to play on it, and she hasn't yet, but we're gonna have plenty of time.
That's true. You're gonna be in Ireland. That's great. That's very convenient.
Yeah.
I brought this up before with Main Era, but you also do work with other bands. What has that been like for you? Now I know you did mastering stuff for Main Era. Yes. Did you also engineer the record? What did you do for Main Era?
For Main Era, I mixed 2 songs that are going to come up on the next record.
Okay, I was wondering about that. Somebody told me mastering for some reason.
I dabble in mastering. I don't feel like I'm that good at
but
it.
You produce and you engineer different records. Who are some people around here that you've worked with, and what have you gained from working with other bands?
Yeah. Well, I love being a mix engineer. I think because it goes back to the very first things that I really loved about music and working in DAWs, which is everything's there. I'm just editing it to be its truest self. Or trying to fit it together in a way that sounds satisfying, and I think I don't know, where I've lacked in the past technical skill and ability to know how to do things, I think that I've had pretty good taste. So trying to get that to come across is interesting, and the more I learn about it, the more that I fall deeper into the rabbit hole of how I can be a better mix engineer. But it's also I can kind of be in everybody's band at the same time, which is really fun. And so I've worked with Indigo, Chrysalis. I did some work engineering for Emma. Some live sessions that are out on at least the vinyl version of her.
This is Emma Harner.
Yeah. Who else? Main Era stuff. I'm working with Good Judgment right now.
Nice.
I'll be mixing a little bit on the new WULFER album. Yeah, I want to do more loud rock and roll. That's my aspiration.
That's awesome.
That's what I really.
I think recording Main Era, that definitely puts you're just fine to do loud rock and roll.
I would really love to. Yeah, that song is amazing. I did the Double Dragon. And I'm so excited for it to be out. And I'm also so excited for the rest of the album because Nate is doing the other 2 mixes. Nate from Digital Awareness.
Oh, Clifford Nate. Yeah. Wow. Okay.
And I just
great.
know that they're going to do an incredible job. I'm that whole project. I just am I feel like such a fan, just waiting for it actually to drop.
I feel that way too.
Yeah.
When I was teaching Gigi guitar every now and again, every time I taught, they would be like, "Yo, we just did this thing, you heard this live, right?" And then they would play it to me and I would be like, it'd be fire.
So awesome.
So when you moved to Ireland, are you going to be playing around at all, or are you mainly going to be focusing on school / recording this record for the time being, and then save playing live for when you get back to the States next year? What do you think?
I feel like I'm going to say no, I'll probably just focus on school and recording stuff, but I will probably go see a really cool show and then cut it and be I want to do that. So if I do play, I would hope it would be with new friends or with Cora or some configuration of the live setup. I don't know if I'll be playing any of the LADYBEETLE stuff. I want to kind of make new projects and things on there.
That's great.
But yeah, mostly I have big recording aspirations and just want to take advantage of that time and the limited time that I'm in that space to try to record as much as possible with a really lo-fi setup. I don't know. I think I romanticize rooms and living in a room for a period of time, and all the things that you make in that room will never sound quite like any other room that you're in.
Yeah.
And so I want to.
You want to capture this room that you're getting to. That's great. Okay, and winding down, I always ask this question at the end of interviews, but we talked about a lot of friends already, but who are some friends that specifically in this music world, Boston / kind of New York music world, that really inspire you? You brought up a lot already, but if there's any that you haven't brought up, I'd love to hear. Or if there's anyone that would surprise the average listener of your music as well.
Who am I the biggest fan of? Well, WULFER. You know that band Axel and Lolo? I love them. I'm such a fan, and I don't think they even can comprehend how much of a fan I am of them. I love their music. It sounds amazing. War Machine.
Yes.
Obviously.
Shout out.
Really big fan of we just played a show with Tanya and Alex's new project in Nahale. That I'm now. Oh, Wedding Gift is her name.
Wedding Gift,
dude,
yes.
I love them. And I love Pew Pew.
I wish I could have been to that show. I remember I saw Dino Gala play, and then immediately after that show got announced, and I was gone, and I was like, that is probably gonna rock.
Yeah.
And I heard that it rocked
Such a
like
fan.
crazy.
Oh my god.
And Pew Pew also like awesome band that
Yeah.
I'm very excited for.
I think that I feel really lucky. I keep saying that, but I feel really lucky to have been in Boston like for this moment. Because it feels
Yeah.
like mass exodus right now. A bunch of people are going.
Salem said that the other night that the show that we played was like season 2 finale because
Oh
it's the
my
last
God.
Dress Better show.
That bill of Dress Better, Untitled Noise Night, Salem was like, those are 3 bands that I could just curl up and die over.
Oh, that's
like,
wonderful.
I love that so much. Oh my god, and the accordion choir?
Oh yes, the accordion choir. First mention on this show of the accordion choir.
Everyone should see them. Everyone
pretty
should experience
amazing.
that. It's amazing.
But yeah, Salem was mentioning that was like, it was sort of a joke, but I was thinking, I was like, it is kind of the season 2 finale because I'm moving and like a lot of other people
Yeah.
are moving, and that was Dress Better's last show, and some
Yeah.
bands are coming to an end. But there's, you know, I said as like a caveat to that, 'cause she was kind of sad about that. I was like, well, hey, like they got renewed for season 3.
Yay! So true.
Thank you for your time. We're gonna play a song now.
Yay.
What song are we gonna play?
I think we're gonna play Abby. Abby, which is on my album. And let me. Oh.
This is all free reign. Oh really? Could I borrow that, please?
Yeah.
Also, Ollie, would you like to say hi to the camera?
Get in
Poke your head
here.
in. For those who don't know, Ollie plays bass in the Salem band. How are you doing?
I'm good.
You ready to move this table?
Hell yeah, and it's a desk.
There's enough table.
It's a desk.
Oh yeah.
There's also. Did you see the pink couch?
No.
There's
Oh
a
my
pink
god,
couch.
pink chair on the
Or
corner.
chair, yeah.
I can't make that face the way that you do. I'm so
Which
impressed
face?
by
Which one?
The one that I always make.
Which one? Oh yeah, that one's always good.
it. Your hair matches your eyes.
It does. All right,
So legend. Okay.
let's try this out. I think I know which song this is, but
This
we'll
is.
try it.
It's like four half steps down from where it usually is. So it's usually in E. Right now it's in wherever that is.
C.
C.
Okay, cool. Yeah,
Okay.
close enough. never played that song before, so it was
That's so
fun.
beautiful.
Yeah.
That
Thank
was
you so much
awesome.
for your time. I really
Thank you for
appreciate
having
it.
me.